Hey, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Lisa, Hendey, and Friends. Our guest on the podcast this week is the amazing Kevin Matthews, subject of the brand new documentary, Broken Mary. Before we get into the chat, let's take a look at the trailer.
Will there be another Kevin Matthews? No.
There's just no one like him.
It was like a religion. Turn on the radio in the morning, listen to Kevin Matthews.
Hi, this is Mike Ditka.
Hey, this is Brian May.
Hi, I'm Chris Farley. You're listening to the Kevin Matthews Show.
I thought he was insane. A lot of people thought he was insane.
There were no cell phones. People were listening to the radio.
Chicago at that time was the perfect storm. Michael Jordan is a Chicago Bull. The '85 Bears just won the Super Bowl. You have this new lady, Oprah. She's in town. Nobody could touch us. We had 10 million people listening to us a week. That was my past. If you would have told me I'd be carrying around a broken statue of the Virgin Mary, talking about God, I'd say, are you high? I was doing my morning show, I was on the air, I thought I was having a stroke, and they said it's a rare form of MS. Eventually it cost me my job. I'm driving, thinking, what am I gonna do? I see this statue lying on the ground, and I know it's a statue of the Virgin Mary. She's broken like me.
And he sees the Virgin Mary broken, cast aside. He's been cast aside.
He is touching so many lives of people who have been hurting or broken. And I think those people are going to affect people as well.
He doesn't hang out with strippers anymore. He hangs out with nuns and priests.
He said, keep the statue broken. It touches people, it reaches people.
I kept her broken because I said, we're all broken and we're loved by God.
Well, hey, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lisa, Hendey, and Friends. I'm super excited today to welcome to the program the subject of an amazing upcoming documentary. Joining us today is Kevin Matthews, and he is the face behind the Broken Mary movement and the star of the documentary Broken Mary, the Kevin Matthews story, which will be coming out as a one-time Fathom event on October 7th. Hopefully we will all go out and see it so much that it will come back again and again and again. Welcome to my show, Kevin Matthews.
Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
Well, as we were just saying, it feels auspicious that we're recording today on our Blessed Mother's birthday and that we get to share this amazing story of your love for her on this day.
You know, I've learned there's no such thing as a coincidence at all. And this whole journey that I've been on is, if you would have asked me, 12 years ago, would I be talking to you or dragging a statue of the Virgin Mary around the country? And I just would say no. And it's just amazing. It's just literally every day I'm so blessed because I'm literally watching God work. I'm literally watching God work. And I've literally had nothing to do with this. All I've done is listen. I've honestly
you listened and you said yes, just like Mary did. So you said yes to the sharing of this amazing story.
And what a beautiful comparison, and she did say yes. And I often wonder, and I've told people, what if Mary would have said no? She had the choice, and she was a human being, and the angel Gabriel comes and asks the question, and heaven was waiting. What is she going to say? And she said yes. And I really honestly believe that God is constantly talking to us, and we have to listen in order to hear. And it was amazing because this happened to me. Finding this statue on the ground near a dumpster happened to me over 10 years ago. And at that time, my life was so upside down and I was a mess. I was broken. I literally was, God led me to a dumpster for a reason, because I had beat myself up so bad. I was ready for the trash, not God sending me there, me. Here it is. And that's what happens. We throw stuff away. We're done with it. It's trash. It's not usable anymore. And here, at the same time, that was me, But at the same time, somebody had found a statue of the Virgin Mary, took it, broke it, didn't know what to do with it. So she's too heavy to throw in the dumpster. So there she is lying on her back, broken in half at the waist. Her hands are missing. She's sunk in the mud. She's got garbage on her. And that is when I literally heard the voice of Jesus say to me, "Will you deny me? Will you deny my mother?" And that was over 10 years ago. And what I've learned is every time I've been spoken to, what I realize is Jesus asked me that question, "Will you deny me? Will you deny my mother?" But now I am to ask other people like yourself, will
Mhm.
you deny Jesus? Will you deny his mother? Everybody watching, will you deny Jesus? Will you deny his mother? It's it's such a powerful message because most people will say, "Oh, no, no, no. I would never do that." But you'll find out now that I've asked you, it is so easy to deny Jesus and Mary in public.
Yeah.
How we don't talk at work, you know. We're very careful out in public, and anymore, what I've done is I speak now. I can never deny God. I can never deny Mary. I can never. They're my family, and I'm so proud. I was so blessed to be born a Catholic, but I was a zombie Catholic. I have kids, and the kids, of course, they made their first communion, their baptism, the sacraments, but I was just a zombie Catholic. I wanted people to see me at church. I wanted the priest to see me. I wanted to
Mhm.
leave early. I'll get the communion. I leave early. I want to watch a football game, da 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 da. And yesterday, I was celebrating Mass, and I go now because I can physically be with Christ and I physically ingest Christ. It's not a symbol. The Eucharist is Jesus Christ, and the sacraments are gifts from God, Jesus. If you would have said to me 15 years ago, go to confession, I would, no, I never want to go to confession. I'm ashamed. I love confession now more than ever, but for the most part, in the last 10 years, it's taken me several trips, many, 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 many confessions to feel comfortable. Where now I love that because I take Mary with me when I go to confession. She knows what I've done. And I
Yeah,
want
let's
everybody to know, you know, that every miracle starts with God. And this journey started with God. And then it here comes Jesus at the dumpster 3 years later. Will you deny me? Will you deny my mother? How I got the statue. Obviously, if I would have left the statue there, I know we would not be talking today. I would be dead and I would be in hell. And here I am. And Jesus said, "Kevin, I'm going to leave you with my mother and she's going to clean you up." And it was always a stern conversation I had with Christ. And he always does that. I think the people that feel most broken, that I'm not worthy to be around God, I'm not worthy to be around Jesus, I've sinned too much, it's too late. That's when I think Mary sweeps in, and it's the mother that always saves us. Whenever I did something wrong in the house, I didn't want dad to come home. I hid by my mother.
you
And
wanted the mercy of mom.
yeah, and it always happened. I
Yeah.
think that's why I have such devotion to our Blessed Mother, because I didn't grow up in the nicest house. My dad and you know, I look at Mary. She is blessed. I just love her, and
Can I pause
Yeah,
this
you
for a
ask me
second?
anything. Yeah, please
Yeah,
interrupt
I'm
me.
going to because I know that some of our listeners might be like me. I've had the blessing of seeing the film, and I have to say to everybody, like, put this on your calendar and go and take your friends and take everybody. It's so awesome. But I'm going to admit, Kevin, that I was having babies in the 90s. And so I didn't really know your story. And I have family in Chicago now, and I've asked them, and they're like, Kevin Matthews, yeah. Like, I didn't know this history that you had in this amazing history with radio and being so famous and being on this path. Just talk a little bit about those years and how they sort of maybe like how that might have been a little bit of your dark night of the soul before you woke up at the dumpster when you found Mary. So just talk
Yeah.
about those
Uh,
years a little bit.
well, I was blessed. I was
Yeah.
blessed to meet my wife when I went to college, and I was going to go into education. I got into radio. We were married in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I eventually ended up in Chicago at the historic Loop with Jonathan Brandmeier, Steve Dahl, Gary Meyer, the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan was a new bull, and Oprah's in town. And we had 10 million people listening to us a week. So we could do anything we wanted, and we did. And we were outrageous, and our management, they were outrageous. They signed checks to the FCC. I didn't get yelled at. We were just we called ourselves a high school with money, and we could do anything we wanted. I could play anything, say anything. We were the Rolling Stones of radio. Everybody in the country came in to listen to our shows, to copy us, and um, we just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And of course, everything comes to an end here on Earth. And satellite radio comes in. Radio just loses. The Titanic hit the iceberg, and that's when things started going downhill. And um, my darkness was gluttony. My darkness was uh, just I got kicked out of 10 golf courses in 10 years. Think of what you've got to do to get kicked out of a golf course. I mean, we were just literally Animal House was too nice. We I mean, when you're hanging out with anybody you want and doing anything you want, it it doesn't, at least for me, doesn't end well. And I mean, I didn't murder anybody, but at the same time, you're just living in the fast lane. And when it comes to an end, it comes to an end. And that's when I come back and I realized I had veered off so far from Christ and God. But they're always willing to take you back. I don't care what you've done, as long as you're on earth and you turn and go to them, they will accept you with open arms. Jesus is the best shepherd on in the universe. And he's waiting for you to come back. He's waiting. And God doesn't send us to hell. We do. And as soon as we stop and just say, help me, they help you. And as soon as Christ says, I'm going to leave you with my mother and she's going to clean you up, she did. And after that, it was eventually something major happened to us in Chicago in 2019. I found the statue in 2011. By 2019, I'm so devoted to Mary. I'm so devoted to the Rosary. And we did a walk with the statue of Mary, the
Which
broken one.
is featured in the film.
Yes. And here she, from a dumpster to a bed of roses and 10,000 people, we walked Mary through Chicago because the city's broken. We're all broken and we're loved by God. And that was such a turning point. And I came home from that walk and I'm driving to get my mail and I hear Christ. It's been years since I heard Christ, and he was stern. This time it was, I love you so much. I weep for you. And I, here I am. I want people to see the movie because I want anybody who thinks they're so broken beyond nobody loves me. God doesn't love me. No, I want you to go, and here's my dogs now. And I just want you to know that God is waiting. We're all broken, but we're loved by God. This is my message. Is I guess they call it my ministry is we're all broken, but we're loved by God. And this is proof. This I just have been listening to God. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And I've traveled the country. I've
You and Mary have traveled the country
yeah,
because you
because
bring the statue with you when you go
yeah,
out
I
to do
just
your
bring her with
speaking.
me. And my second book is a follow-up to the first book. I named it Mary's Roadie because I'm not the star of the show. I don't get a standing ovation. God through Mary does. And just when I think it's going to slow down, I say, Mary, are we done? The phone rings. The phone rings. The phone
That's
rings.
what happens when you put the Holy Spirit in charge of
Oh, the phone
leading
rings.
your life, right?
The phone.
Yeah.
Everything that I I have um I don't want what's another word for pact. I have a a deal with Christ that I said, Jesus, I don't want anything. All I want to be is your shepherd dog. That's all I want to be. I've got MS. I've been beat up. I'm so blessed to have MS because if I hadn't gotten MS, this would have never happened. God didn't give me MS because I sinned too much or I got kicked out of golf courses and stuff like that. God is not a punishing God. God loves us. I live on a planet that has diseases, has catastrophes, and here we are. But I just said, all I want to be is your shepherd dog. And let me just take any lamb that has strayed from you, Jesus. I'll move them back quietly and gently. No barking, no biting. They do the rest. I don't want to. I'm not here
Yeah.
to preach. I'm here. I go over to prisons and I prison inmates that are serving life terms and they're holding a rosary now and they say, I'm going to die in here. And I go, but yes, but you have chosen where you want to go for eternity. And eternity is a long time to be wrong. Folks, you have to go back to him. You have to, especially the Catholics that have left Jesus Christ in his church. It's his church. It was founded in 33 AD. Anything after that is not his church. He wants you to come back, go back. And I have
And let me
never
ask
been
you,
more
I'm
satisfied in my life.
yeah, and let me ask you about reception of the film from because we see some of them actually in the documentary, some of the people that knew you and were your best friends in
Yeah.
your former life and now are walking this journey with you. Like, what are people who've seen it and are close to you saying about their reaction to this and how it helps them?
Well, nobody's seen it yet. You've got this to see it before,
Wow.
but the people in this
Yeah.
movie are people that I didn't know. But I, one man, for example, in the movie, he needed a liver transplant. He was on a list. He was going to die without a liver transplant, and I said to him, "Let's start to recite the rosary. Let's start to recite the rosary." And every time I bring somebody who's broken and sick to Mary, I've suddenly, after a year of the rosary, and he's now devoted to the rosary, his liver is starting to heal from the inside out. He no longer had to be on the liver transplant list. Doctors have no idea what happened, and he's in the movie. I've had women with breast cancer. They're in. There's no more. There's no more breast cancer. There's so many people who have been so broken. And listen, I carry around a broken statue. And when I found the statue, I called a friend of mine who's a priest, and I'm starting to go back to church. And I said, I need to get her blessed. I knew I needed her to be washed in holy water. And then I said, where can I get her fixed? And he told me of a monument maker, and the monument maker said, yeah, I can put new hands on her. I'll paint her. She won't even look broken. And that's when I really cried. I just said, leave her alone. Don't touch her. Just put her together. She's broken like me. And I want to call her Broken Mary. And I took her home. We had her blessed. And that is when the heavens opened up. It's, do I worship a statue? No, she was made in a statue factory somewhere in America. But I guarantee you where the statue is, God is, Christ is, Mary is, the disciples, the saints, heaven is with us.
Well, and you've been on this path for the last several years of
Yeah,
sharing Mary's story,
yeah,
writing your books, reaching
yeah,
people in all entirely new ways through
yeah,
your witness and seeing the changes and now we have this film. And just
yeah.
as we finish up, let's say a few words about why, who's the audience for this, why they should come out on October
The
7th, what
audience
you
is
hope for them.
the audience is everybody,
Yep.
and you don't have to be Catholic. To everybody, because everybody on this planet, in the past, in the future, from the Pope all the way down to every one of us, we're broken. We are all broken, but we are loved by God. And go see this, because this is just the beginning. I know now, the voice of Mary came to me for the first time when I was in Fatima for the 100th anniversary. I had just written a book. I just recorded a rosary app. And I'm sitting in front of this statue of Mary where she appears to the three shepherd children 100 years ago. And I said, Mary, I've recorded an app. I've written a book. Now what? And I said it in such a derogatory remark. And as soon as I said it, what did I say that? Something whizzed by my head, hit the ground, and it was this giant pine cone. And I knew that if that would have hit me, it would have really hurt, if not killed me. And I'm looking, and a pine cone, and suddenly the voice of our Blessed Mother said, plant the seeds of my rosary. And that's what a pine cone is. And Father Mark comes walking up. I'm all by myself. And I said, Father, how many pine cones do you see on the ground? And he thinks I'm insane anyways. He goes, none. We're in an olive garden.
Yeah.
And I said, this one almost hit me. Plant the seeds of my rosary. I know that's what I'm to do. The rosary is Mary's umbilical cord. It's how she teaches us Jesus. And I can't tell people, go back to the sacraments. The Eucharist is the body of Jesus Christ. The rosary is her umbilical cord. The confessional is a way to have Jesus wash your sins, and you can wash his wounds. I don't know if I'm going to go to heaven, but when the minute we die, we're in front of Jesus, because no man goes to God unless through Jesus. Is he going to know you? Is he going to say, oh, I recognize you, I know you, or my mother speaks highly of you, come in? Or is he going to say, I don't know you, depart from me? And folks, work at it. Work at eternity, because your 401k is not going to get you into heaven. It's your love of Christ and God.
That's a beautiful witness from somebody who really you were at the pinnacle and you had so much of the material, in your life. And now on the other end of this, folks might look at you and think, I have to say, I was very touched by, how you accepted your medical diagnosis.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with a breast cancer diagnosis right now, and God is so good, and I have amazing caregivers, and I'm on the path to healing. But I love how you connect not the hardships in your life with your journey back to God. I mean, these are the things that brought you so close to our Blessed Mother, because you were able to say, in her brokenness, she found you and she picked you up and carried you like a little baby into her arms and straight to her son. I love that.
And you've got what I love to say to you is your devotion to Mary. Remember that she calls you daughter. So Mary is with you on this journey. She calls you daughter. She knows suffering and she's with you. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things. I love to tell women that love Mary and God through Mary that you are called daughter.
Can I
To the
tell you
men
one
that love,
story about my mom? That
yeah,
this will be so touching to you. So, I'm the eldest of 5 children, and my parents were born and raised in Indiana. They had me like 10 months after they were married. So I was, right at the center of our family. And my mom, unfortunately, when she was around 75, she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And it's a really insidious,
yeah.
terrible disease, which ultimately led to her passing. And she was only 81 when she went to heaven. But for the last years of her life, she was mostly nonverbal, but she had some words, and they were the words of the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty much all she could say. And my mom was fading during COVID, and she was in a nursing home in Chicago. And really, the only person who could get in to see her outside of her immediate caregiving team was the hospice chaplain who came from a Christian, a non-Catholic hospice, to see her every week. And he would FaceTime with my daddy and I. And one of the things that happened during my mom's final months is that he knew of her love for the rosary. So my mom basically led him to the rosary through her love for her Blessed Mother. And that was one of the things he did with her every week, was to come in and pray the rosary, which was, here's my mom evangelizing her love for Mary and her son, when she's nonverbal. Mary has a way of leading us to her, and she chooses the broken to be part of her message. So
And
there you
I
are.
would say, I bet you anything he still recites the
I
rosary.
think so too. I
And
believe
again,
so too.
look at that. In fact, I'm sure.
Pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's you're loved. Everyone that's watching, you have no idea you're loved, and just we're all broken, but we're loved by God.
well, I know this is a busy time for you, so I'm going to let you go, but I do want to remind folks the Fathom event. The first one is October 7th, and there's all kinds of ways for you to connect. We'll make sure that we have all those links in our
Yeah,
show notes.
yeah.
Kevin, any kind of parting words? You've given us so much, but anything you want to say
Well,
before we let you go?
if anybody would like me to come and speak, I have brokenmary.com, and that has, I recite the rosary every day. I do everything, brokenmary.com. And my biggest thing is I've never been happier. And just go to God. Just go to God. It's that simple. Just go.
What are we waiting for, folks? Let's go, first of all, to
Yeah.
God. And then secondly, let's go on October 7th to
Okay.
go see
Thank you. And God
Broken
bless
Mary.
you.
Kevin,
And I
all the
wish you
success in the
well.
world.
And remember, Mary calls you daughter. She's with you. So is God
Amen.
Christ. I love you.
God bless you.